What is up, YouTube? It's been a long time, but I am here out at Nubs Park in East Dubuque, and I am going to be throwing my last round with Lone Star. All right, so as you may have remembered, last year in my last video that I did, I was part of the 2023 Ranger team via Lone Star Discs. So I have been throwing Lone Star Plastic all year. Wanted to share my thoughts, reflections on it while playing a casual 9-hole practice round, showcasing some of the discs, talking about what my next ventures are, what some of my goals were this year, kind of just take you along on the journey. So like I said, we're at Nubs Park, awesome 9-hole course, 2 tee pads, 2 baskets per hole. So we're going to play a mixture of different tee pad basket combinations just to kind of highlight and showcase some of Lone Star's Plastic. So first one we're going to do, red tee behind me to the blue basket. This is the short tee, 300 feet downhill and slightly to the right. I am going to showcase first the Charlie Plastic Frio and a Bravo Midi and just try and give some thoughts and comparisons on them. And that's going to be in the rough. All right, so not a great representation right there from me. Try the Midi this time, see if I can put a little extra oomph on it. All right, much better shot. So we are on hole 2 now, about 250 down the hill for the blue basket. We're going to do the blue basket and the white basket today. We're going to showcase a couple of flippy things. As a lefty, I'll do a little bit of slight turnover that goes semi-straight towards the basket. So we're going to start with this pastry dye penny putter towards the blue, then towards the white basket that's tucked behind the tree, tucked behind the blue basket. We're going to try the Hooligan Glow rope and the Bravo BB6. So penny putter is up first. Not quite as much flip up as I would have liked. All right, next we've got the Hooligan rope. We're going to try and swing it around the tree and see if we can't come back and finish behind that tree towards the white basket. A little too much turn out of the hand. Turn it over a little bit. Bravo BB6. Oh, that's the one. Come back. Oh, all right. All right, so as we're walking towards these shots, I wanted to kind of give a little, brief thing on Lone Star. So if you have been living under a rock and you're not sure who Lone Star is, they're a Texas-made disc company. They are started manufacturing in 2019, and they really exploded on the disc golf scene this year by basically almost kind of I would say a very strategic marketing plan with the Ranger team. So I put my application in towards about October of 2022 when they were starting to look for applications just for kind of fun, and was accepted onto the Ranger team. And I'm sure, as many of you have guessed, there were quite a few of us accepted onto the Ranger team if you haven't seen or heard any of that before. So we are I wouldn't say an elite group, but it has been a fun group for sure. And so as you can gather, there were quite a few of us on the Ranger team this year. So it has been a definitely worthwhile experience, I would say. And I'll kind of get into some more things here in a little bit about the positives of my game this year and some other things. Let me see if I can make this putt first. So in addition to the Ranger team, another thing that really exploded the disc golf or the scene for Lone Star was they manufactured a lot of discs in the last year. I think they were probably the top number of most molds in a single year that were approved and manufactured. Coming into 2023, I think they had about less than 20, and I'm willing to say that they're somewhere in the 30s in terms of mold count, if not close to 40 different molds. So they certainly exploded in that sense too, of pushing a lot of discs out onto the market and using their Ranger team to push those out in various parts in the country. So one of the biggest questions is probably, why Lone Star? You live in Iowa, you live in the tri-state area. One of the reasons was knowing that I had to bag 90% of their plastic. That was one of the Ranger team requirements. And I thought one benefit to that would be that one of my goals this year was to move up in divisions and try and acquire, get my rating to a certain level that I wanted to get up to. And I thought that the Lone Star could help me with that, in the sense that I don't have to really choose which Buzz-like disc am I going to put in my bag. What flippy mid am I going to work with this week? You know, it was all kind of set that they only had one option in each of those categories. So using, instead of trying to pick the best disc for my game, I wanted to work on changing my form to help fit the discs. That whole archer versus the arrow concept. So that was one of the things that really drew me into trying Lone Star. Plus, I just really like trying different discs, different plastics, different companies. And even though I wasn't really throwing a whole lot of other plastic this year, it did give me, you know, the chance to really try an up-and-coming company, help a company grow, build some made in the good old USA plastic, hit the market. So those were some of my top reasons. All right, so we're on hole 3 here. The blue basket is slightly elevated and tucked right behind this tree here. The white basket is a little bit further up the hill and tucked up there. Both pretty decent shots for a left-handed thrower. All right, so again, we're on the short tee here. So I'm gonna do both baskets on this one because this one's a lot of fun. This one's a really fun hole. So for the blue basket that's straight back there, I'm gonna go with this Bravo Frio that I got this cool yin yang die on. A little bit straighter than the Charlie Frio that I threw earlier. Next, for the white basket, I'm gonna throw a couple different curls. One of them being this Robert Burge curl, Bravo curl, a little bit more stable. For curls, curl is probably my favorite Lone Star mold. Used to be the Armadillo. The Armadillo is the disc that got me introduced to Lone Star. The curl is what made me fall in love with a lot of the Lone Star molds. This curl especially has been a workhorse all year long in my bag, and it has kind of reached the point of it's so darn flippy. So I'm going to kind of give it its like ceremonial farewell flight on this round, on this hole. Not the greatest flight for that one, but hey. All right, here we go. Let's throw the Robert Burge curl first. Oh, so close. All right, curl. This is your last flight before the wall. Make it a good one. I think you did it. Oh, you did it. That was great. Awesome. See if we can jam this in. There we go. So, like the guideline said, I said earlier, 90% of my discs had to be Lone Star. There was one mold that I kept consistently throughout the year in my bag after trying a couple, but I did keep my Challengers in my bag as my putting putter. And I'll talk about that a little bit later in the video as one of the comments. All right, so I probably know what you're all thinking. Hey, Mr. YouTube guy, well, you put in all that work with Lone Star for a year. Why are you not sticking with it? Truth be told is that while the perks were pretty decent, and the plastic's good, and I'm really glad that I was able to work on my form with it. This next year, I'm really working on focusing on content creation, still continuing to get better at tournaments, and I think that I'll be able to make better content a lot easier with being able to throw multiple brands. So that's definitely one of the reasons why I didn't continue with. I know, there were some good perks. We did get an allotment, a small allotment of discs, and a discount on discs, which I am very happy for and grateful for, so that I was able to get a couple things that I probably would have bought anyway, just because, again, I like to try plastic. So all these things, were good decisions of why to do it for a year, but there are multiple other reasons why not to do it. So again, I just really want to throw a lot of my other discs in my collection that I have, and so being open bag will allow me to do that. All right, so we are on hole 4 here. Basket, a white basket is just right there down the hill. That blue basket is actually hole 9. The blue basket for this one is slightly to the left and a little bit further down the hill, about 30 feet, maybe 40 feet down the hill from the white basket there, and slightly more to the left. So we're gonna go for the white basket with a couple of discs first, and then we might try something into the blue. So first disc we are gonna go with is the Harpoon, the Lone Star Harpoon in Bravo plastic. This is a unique harpoon. When I got this one in my one of my shipments, it somehow had gotten really puddle top. And I don't know if you can see that, but it is almost kind of like a satellite dish. So that is one that very much more overstable than a normal harpoon is. I primarily only throw this on forehand just because it is a very shallow disc. It is really kind of hard to get my fingers around this part of the disc with the backhand, but it feels great on a forehand. I'm also going to throw the Hooligan Cash. So this was a putter that I picked up because they still hadn't quite had a zone replacement yet, and I don't think that this was necessarily a zone copy yet, but I did want to try these not only for like regular putting but also driving. They're a really good driver. They feel really good in the hand, and they're also very good for forehands too. And then finally in October this year, Lone Star dropped the Horny Toad, which is very much their zone-like approach disc. And so I'm going to try these 3 out on this hole on a forehand. Oh, go in. Woo, a little short. Got a little roll. Stop rolling. Okay, safe. There is some OB down there in that little parking lot next to that pavilion. The Hooligan Cash. Oh, so close. All right, we're gonna try the Horny Toad, see if we can't get down a little closer. Oh, I gotta beat that last little branch. Moving on. All right, so I am going to still plan on keeping some of these discs in my bag for this foreseeable future. I do really think that there are some really good molds that Lone Star has, and there are some that weren't my favorites throughout the year. I think that there were some molds that are solid molds that can continue to work in my bag, especially in the putter line. So the first disc that like I said earlier in the video, that really got me into Lone Star was the Armadillo. I used to throw a Berg, and then I picked up an Armadillo for fun, and it is exactly what I've always wanted a Berg to be, which is a little bit less stable than what a Berg is. Also the thumb track, kind of a mix-up between a polecat, a pig, and a Berg all in one. I'd say more like a pig and a polecat together, which then brings us to the next disc that I'm also going to show you on this hole, which is the Copperhead. The Copperhead, which is probably my favorite putter in the Lone Star lineup. This thing is awesome. It is very much, again, this is kind of a hybrid between like a Zone or the Cash and a pig with that groove with the thumb track. on the top, just a solid approach disc. I've used this for a lot of approaching this year. And then the other one that I'll kind of showcase that I really did enjoy this year is the Sacred Discs Gnome. This is the Nico Locastro line. This is a 2-speed putter. Really though, it says it's a 0-1 fade, but the puddle top on the one that I got, very much more like a 0-2 fade probably. Pretty deep putter, but very enjoyable. All right, so the blue basket is just right there on the hill side, elevated. We're gonna throw these 3 discs and see if we can't park it. We'll start with the armadillo. That is a flippier armadillo. Still kept it in bounds. That armadillo is very much though like on the flippier side of things. I would put it in like a Bravo or a Glow plastic to get a little bit more of that stability. We got the Gnome next. Parked. I feel like that's all that disc does is park short baskets like this. All right, finish out with the Copperhead. Hit it. Woo! That was great. That felt good. This is just, I mean, can't ask for better than that. All right, tally ho. So Lone Star molds do come in a wide variety of plastics. Every mold comes in Forscher Alpha, which is their stiff premium plastic, Bravo, which is their a little bit tackier, gummier plastic, and then most of their molds come in Glow plastic. And the Glow is kind of I would say a mixture between the Alpha and the Bravo in terms of feel on it. Really nice glow to it. The putters, some of the putters come in the Victor 1, Victor 2, Victor 1 being a little bit softer plastic, Victor 2 being a little bit of a more stiff, but they're both a base plastic that float in water. Recently this year, they introduced the Delta 1, Delta 2, which kind of has started to replace the Victor plastic in terms of putters. So the Delta 1 is that softer base plastic, the Delta 2 is that stiffer base plastic on that. And then a lot of their special molds and all of their Tour Series discs come in what's called Founders plastic. So all their Tour Series come in Founders, and then a lot of their special releases come in a Charlie plastic. So the Charlie plastic being, I would kind of relate it to a more like a Champion or you know, like a Lucid plastic from Dynamic. And then the Founders plastic has like a metal flake ness to it. So it's kind of like Charlie with metal flake inside of the plastic. So we're gonna throw a couple here. The Charlie and the Founders definitely have a little bit more stability than some of the other ones. The Bravo tends to be the most understable. The Alpha tends to be pretty true to its flight numbers, and the Glow maybe a little bit more under or overstable depending on the mold. So we're gonna throw a hole 6 here, both one's about 300 feet straight out. The blue basket 320 feet slightly to the right. They're both about the same height. So if we kind of get them in the middle between the two, we're in pretty good shape. So I'm gonna throw from the long tee pad on this one, I'm gonna throw the Mockingbirds. I have one Mockingbird in Bravo. It's gonna flip a little bit more. One Mockingbird in Founders plastic that shouldn't flip as much. So hopefully get a little bit more carry towards the blue basket. And we do have a slight right to left crosswind. So we'll see what happens. But these are great tunnel shot discs, which we do have a nice tunnel here. All right, so we got a cross a little bit more to the left than I would have liked. We'll go with the Robert Burridge Tour Series curl. Oh, we got over. Okay, so both made it across, both similar spot. We're gonna try one more disc on this, and that is the Mad Cat. This is a Bravo Mad Cat, I believe. Yeah, this is a Bravo Mad Cat, a little bit lighter. This one's a little bit more flippy than what a Mad Cat tends to be. So we're gonna see if maybe we can get this one through the gap and a little bit further. That is a beautiful shot. Over here, a little bit further away from the basket than I'd like to be, and I'm just gonna show a couple of my neutral putters that I would approach with for a shot like this. Starting with the Armadillo. Again, this is kind of what the Armadillo was always in the bag for. That was a little shorter than I'd like to be. Next, we have the penny putter here. Yeah, nice floaty stall shot right off the basket. Last putter we've got is the Benny, which is the beaded version of the penny putter. So just a slight tick more stable. Still up there nice and right next to the basket. Oh well. It happens. All right, moving on. So as you can tell, I haven't been very active on this channel, and I'm really hoping to change that in 2024. Be a little bit more active. You know, it is tough as a music teacher to find extra time to do things, but hopefully I'll be able to get some content out on a regular basis. Hopefully it gets a little bit easier as I do it more often. I have a lot of ideas, and hopefully be able to do some stuff with my other music teaching colleagues that play, and kind of get this Forte channel going. Forte being the musical aspect of it. So if you have any ideas or thoughts on, you have some video ideas that you'd like to see from us, you know, feel free to comment down below on this video. And like I said, next year the plan will still be to continue developing my game and trying to get out there and compete as much as I can. And still, like I said earlier, I didn't hit my rating goal this year, and so that's gonna be priority number one. That's gonna be priority number one this next year. So hopefully I can do that. Continue to develop my farm, continue to add distance to my shots. You know, as I'm getting older, I know distance is getting harder and harder to come by, and so anything that I can do to try and help with distance in my game are kind of the things that I'll be working on this next year. So really excited to do make a lot of content this year. Hole 7, this is one of my favorite holes on the course. Blue basket is just slightly here. White basket is tucked back corner of it. It is an island hole, so you have to get, there's a painted line up there that you have to get towards or cross over in order to be on the island. And there is also a boundary fence to the left over there, so that you're not going into the valley area. So we've got a Copperhead for the short and a Charlie Mad Cat for the long. One time. All right, that might be a little deep. That might be close, or I think I might have hit the wall to stay on the island. Hopefully, here is the Mad Cat. We're gonna go more on this side of the tee pad here. Oh, I was not on the island that time. All right, let's try one more. We're gonna try we're gonna show off the Chupacabra. That is on the island. It's a little short, but not a bad shot overall. All right, hole 8. So as you can see, blue basket is tucked, white basket's tucked just a little bit further. Let's throw the bird's curl. All right, I got into the trees a little bit. Kind of a hard shot. Let me try one more for that short basket. We're gonna try the Mockingbird again to see if we can get that little bit of pop up towards that blue. A little too much stability still. Here we go. Try and make this putt. So close. Oh, that hurts. Moving on. All right, so we got a short approach from this curl here. I'll kind of do a little bit of some of my favorite approach discs from this year. I was throwing the Armadillo in a lot earlier this year, so let's see what we can. Ooh, I thought it might bank off. Gnome, a little bit more. Not bad. Copperhead. Ooh, right over top of it. All right. There we go. All right, one more hole to go. Last hole. So normally I would play hole 9 over here, but we are going to modify. This is what we would quote unquote call the local route, local hole 9. We're gonna make it a par 5. We're going back. So hole 1 is straight. Hole 1 C-pad is straight over here, and then to the right is back to where we were. We're gonna throw to the gold basket that we saw in the beginning of our video. Basically, the goal is to just get out in that field without going OB. Basically, the road plays as OB, road and beyond. So we're gonna cross over that. So we're gonna throw a little bit understable here, kind of into a headwind. So we're gonna try a couple. One that I've really liked is the Harrier, specifically in Charlie Plastic, the Tim Smolinski US Masters version that came out as part of that tournament. It's just a nice, a little bit more stable version of the Harrier. And then the other one we're going to try out, which haven't really thrown a whole lot of, that is the Growler, which the Growler came out in response to the Harrier being just a touch flippier than what they thought. So we'll try these two, just try and get something out and far into the field. Don't go over the baseball field. All right, that's out in the middle. Not bad. It wasn't terrible. We're gonna try the Growler here and just see if we can get a little bit less flip out of it and a little bit more neutral in the middle. Keep going, keep going, now just sit, settle. All right, looks like we'll be throwing from the Harrier spot. So from here, our goal is to just get kind of by that evergreen tree out without going into the playground and without hyzering out too far. We're gonna throw this curl pretty flat, see if we can get a little turn. We do have a little bit of headwind-ish. And then we're gonna try this Alpha Warbird. This is kind of a specific run of Warbirds that are hard to come by, but they're pretty nice and neutral. Get out of the playground. Don't go in the playground. Oh, it might be in the playground. We'll see. All right, let's try the Warbird. Whoa. Backside of the playground, just out of it. So I think we might be good with both of those. All right, we managed to stay inbounds. So we are about 400 feet from the pin, and we've got this like tail left to right crosswind. So I'm gonna try this Growler again and just see if I can't get it to ride a little left before coming back right, hopefully. Go, go, go. Ooh. That might be on the edge of that like crubby stuff on the end there. Okay, a couple upshot discs here. So we got a couple upshots here. Try the Armadillo again. That'll work. Penny putter. Get it. Woo! All right, that is gonna finish out this video. The Ranger team has been a wonderful experience. Thank you to the Dillard family, Josh, Sheldon, all the other Ranger team members that I've met. You guys have all been awesome. I will do, I'm hoping to do a couple more videos this month on some of my final thoughts on Lone Star Disc. I wanted to make a tier list of all their plastics and what I thought of all their molds and what I thought of them, kind of give my rating on each one. And then also I plan to do a bag swap here with one of my colleagues, so you get to know Sam a little bit as well. Go back, check out one of our first videos from a couple years ago. That kind of gives a little bit of who we are, what we want to do, kind of thing. So if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below, again, video ideas that you see or that you think of. I'm more than, I want to make content that is just fun and, take you along my journey of building my disc golf game this next, during 2024. So we will catch you in the next one. Thank you.